Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to class today. Today's going to be chair and wall. So hopefully you set yourself up near a wall and you have a chair. These are really, cheapy little folding chairs, and they work great for most things. A typical yoga chair would not have a back to it so that you could put your legs and body through them. But these folding chairs work wonderfully for what we're looking for. So start by sitting well. If you happen to have a block, grab the block and just place it on the chair back, if you have a chair back, so that you can press your back into it. It might be a little bit tricky. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry. What I'm hoping here is that it helps move the chest forward, the shoulders back, and gives us that nice tall spine so that we're not tempted to kind of hang out, right? To lean back and relax too much. So with that, let's sit tall. And sometimes if you have the room, if you slide your sit bones back, right, without overarching your lower back, you can get a slight anterior tilt of the pelvis. And that seems to help with getting that nice tall spine. All right, so shoulders move toward the side body. The elbows are training to the side and back body. Your hands can either be in your lap or resting on your thighs, whatever feels really good to you. And then pay attention to your feet. Make sure that they feel grounded. Often there is not a one-size-fits-all chair. And so if your feet are not touching the ground, I would take a couple of blocks and put them under your chair so that the feet are lifted. If your knees are already up this high because you're tall, I would sit up on a blanket or two to get your hips up higher. All right, so with that, let's find our center, maybe close the eyes and start to tap into the breath. Start to bring yourself fully into your yoga practice, letting go of anything that is not right here and right now. Feel the breath moving in, moving out. And breathe. And notice if there is any unnecessary tension in your body, right? We need a certain amount of tension to sit upright. Let's see if there's anything going on in the chest or the jaw or the belly that you can release here. Good, nice deep breath. Feel that block at the center of your back, keeping the chest open. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Good, one more right here, inhaling. And exhaling. And then let the eyes open. Inhale, take the arms up. Good. Interlace those hands and press them out, but keep your back pressing into the block. And then take the arms up. If this hurts wrists or shoulders, please separate your arms. And then just lean over to one side a little bit, but keep that block pressing into the chair. And release, go to the other side, press. And back to center and take it all the way down and roll those shoulders out, everybody. And then take the hands forward, the palms are facing in, pull the shoulders back, and then pretend that you're pulling a rope back and feel your elbows reach back to the chair and reach forward. Good, and pull back. And pull back, reaching forward. Pull it back, good, and up and back. Good. Last one, I want you to hold it back for a moment, soften the hands, the fists. Maybe your elbows come to the back of the chair. Once those elbows are touching the chair or close, I want you to lift up the chest, draw the shoulder blades back down toward that block. Find your breath and just take the hands out to the sides, just out to the sides. Squeeze those shoulder blades and bring them back toward your belly and open and release. Watch what you're doing with your head or your neck. Squeeze it out and in. Last one here, squeeze it out and then extend those arms out and squeeze the elbows back in. Good. Extend them out. Exhale. Good. Inhale, big deep breath. Exhale, squeeze. Good. Last one here. Open and release and shake that out. Go ahead and take the block out from behind you and grab your strap. Open up those shoulders. Again, take the strap nice and wide. Just watch for, I'm going to shorten mine and then double it, or lengthen mine and then double it. Watch for the buckle end always. So for this, you may want to sit forward in the chair a little bit. And if you haven't ever done chair work, please be mindful, right? These babies can tip and tilt and all that stuff. Ideally, you have all four legs on the yoga mat at all times, regardless of what I'm doing right now, because I need space. So be mindful of where you're putting the weight of your body, your hands, anything like that. Take the strap out in front of you, pull the shoulders back, take it up. Find your breath, lean over to one side. Make sure you're not over leaning with the body. Good, take it up, stretch to the other side. Whew, good, take it up, bend the elbows, take those hands behind you or that strap behind you, and then bring the head back toward the wall behind you. Yep, and inhale up, good, side bend. Inhale, center, exhale, side bend. Inhale, center, squeeze them behind you. Watch the chin doesn't drop. Inhale up, good. One more here. Side bend, stretch, and up, side bend. Stretch it out, everybody, and up. Squeeze it behind you. Shake out that head, that neck. And then imagine that the elbows come forward and the hands go further back toward the wall. Big time external rotation of the shoulders. Don't overdo it. There should be no pain here. And then reach up, exhale, let that go. Woo, good. Roll that out and set your strap aside. We are moving quick this morning. By the way, with your strap, if you would, please make sure you've got a loop in your strap, so that, because we're going to use that in just a little bit. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Good. Roll those shoulders. And then I want you to turn. I'll try to mirror here. I know this will be a little, it's not confusing, but I want you to turn your whole body to the left. And inhale, reach the arms up. As your body is turned to the left, I want you to twist toward the back of your chair. Take your right hand to the back of the chair, and your left hand goes to the side of your seat or your sacrum, finding this little bit of a chair twist. But notice that the left leg, right, is kind of pressing to the back of that chair too. So you've got a little bit of resistance there as you're pressing your leg very gently into the chair, and the chair is obviously not moving. And we find this really sweet little twist. Soften the shoulders, everybody. Take a really deep breath. And then inhale, both arms up. Release it as you come back to center, and then go to the other side. Everybody facing the right side of your chair. I know I had to move all my props out of the way. And again, if it doesn't work, you can always sit forward and do that same twist. Inhale, reach the arms up. You're going to twist back to the wall. And then one hand comes to your chair. The other one comes to the seat of your chair. Both shoulders are moving. your leg very gently pressing into the side of that chair or the back of that chair. Take a really deep breath, everybody, and breathe. And then release, inhale, exhale, come back to center. Whew, good, roll that out. Grab one block, have your strap where you can reach it. So you've got one block, place it between your thighs. I have mine at the second width, that feels good to me, and my feet are more or less hips width apart. Again, sitting up really tall. If it's challenging to sit tall, I would invite you to take your hands to the back of the chair to help keep that chest lifted. But otherwise, make sure the feet are parallel to the knees and squeeze that block. If it hurts, if you've got some tender spots on those inner thighs, either bring it right to the knees, which helps for some, or bring the block up a little bit higher. Don't over squeeze. Don't squeeze so hard that it hurts your legs. Good. Keep squeezing. Feel that. Tone the belly in. Lift the chest, everybody. And release. Good. Inhale, squeeze. Keep the feet grounded. Feel the big toe mounds pressing down. Feel the inner ankles moving toward each other. And release. Good. One more here. This is just warm up for everything. Good. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Set your block aside. Those are inner thigh exercises. And then take that loop around your leg. Tighten up that strap so that your legs are hips width apart. Remember, that is that inner line, those hip points, right? We never go to the outer hip. We usually go to that inner hip line. Make sure the strap's tight enough, and then press against the strap. This one is truly one of my favorites. I feel it immediately in the side hips and lower glutes. Good, breathe. You know, often they'll say, well, how hard should I press or push? Kind of up to you, right? If I press less, there's less work. You don't want to do it so much that you cause pain or discomfort. But I don't know anybody that doesn't feel this when we do it. Whew, good, breathe, and just release the push and rock the knees side to side. I wonder if these would be good on an airplane, right? Just had that thought. That's interesting. All right. So once again, push, press against, find your breath, lift up tall through your body, little bit of tone to the belly. Let's work and warm up these hips, glutes. Breathe, everybody. And release. Whew, feeling those a lot today. You see the Blue Jays out there. And last one, push and press. I have a little fountain outside the studio, and there's two Blue Jays, both males, taking a bath in the fountain, which is surprising. Good, breathe, 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 and release. Holy moly, see, that was your distraction. Take that strap out and set your strap aside. So I'm just gonna move my chair back so it is on the mat now that we're done with the kind of shoulder stuff. So take one hand to either side of your chair, or if your arms happen to be long, you can take them to the chair legs. Draw the shoulders back, tone the belly, lift your right leg, and extend. Good. Bend and set it down. Just 3 of these. Lift, extend, lift, and down, lift, extend, lift, and down. Good. So choice number 1, choice number 2, we let go of the hands. The arms go above the head. The shoulders are active. Now we have to work in core more to not lean back so much. So lift, same leg, lift, extend, lift, and bend. Good. Lift, extend, and then bend and set it down. One more here. Lift, extend, bend, and down. Good. Almost done. Arms up, optional. Hands down, optional. or none of the above, right? So lift the same leg, extend, hold, and bend, don't set it down. Extend, squeeze your belly, lift your chest, extend, 2 more, extend. Last one, extend and release, release those arms. Woo. Good, shake that out. Other side, we're gonna open up the chest, tone through the belly, starting with those hands down at the legs, right? So that we can feel the difference one side to the other. When you're ready, let's lift the knee, extend. It does not have to be so high. Bend the knee, set that down, 2 more. Lift, extend, bend, and down. Just notice if you compensate, right? If your back really wants to round, release. Option 2, arms up. An angel got its wings. Sorry, for those of you who may not have heard that, a little bell just rang. And lift the knee, extend out, bend, and down, lift, whoo, extend, lift, down, lift, extend, and bend, down, whoo, release the arms for a second, take them right back up. This one we go for 5. So lift and extend, bend, hold, 2 and 3, fire up those arms, 4, whoo, and 5, and release, shake that out. Whoo. I know it, I know it, I know it. All right, take your feet wide and take your elbows to your knees. So this is interesting, right? We're going to do what is basically a seated forward fold. But what I find is that we want to be mindful here. So this would be your neutral. If you're dealing with some back issues that I don't know about, you might want to stay more here, nice tone to the belly, hips drawing back to the back of the chair. If you feel okay, you can take the torso lower to start. And then maybe you, and I didn't cue this, but maybe you have, I'll bring them in, maybe you have your blocks in front of you and you take your hands to your blocks. So there again is a pretty neutral pose. The sit bones are reaching back, the pelvis is tilted forward. We've got a deep bend in those hip creases. And if you're still okay in your back, you can take your fingertips to the floor. What do we normally do here? We round forward, we drop our head. Yeah, I'm not sure about all that. So I just want to see if I can maintain neutral in the spine and get a deep, really fairly deep hip opener. Think happy baby, right? We're doing this happy baby pose in the chair and just see how that feels. If at the end, no back issues, you want to drop your chest and drop your head. I'm still trying to maintain a fairly neutral spine, but letting the weight of that head drop. And then come back to neutral. One hand to one knee, the other hand to the other knee. Squeeze the belly, push up off those knees, and come on up and walk those legs back. All right, last one here, and then we will get up off the chairs. You're going to take your right leg, bend the knee, and come into figure 4. Once again, this does not work for everybody. One solution is to extend the bottom leg, and I just ask you to be mindful of the knee, that you're not putting the weight of that leg on the knee, or keep a slight bend or lower it below the knee. So we're here, and here we are with that hip. So we're going to start by rocking a little bit, side to side. Again, finding the breath. I kind of like the slipperiness of the chair, you know, it doesn't work quite that way when we're on the mat. And then bring the hips to center, and we're going to keep with that similar idea of, as we take the torso forward, can I keep most of the rounding out of our backs? Finding the hip stretch without compromising the spine. So some of you are gonna just kind of lean forward on that top leg. Some of you are gonna put one hand in the hole, right? The little triangle there between the legs, and interlace your hands around your shin. Deep breath. Maybe you come down a little bit lower, again, thinking of the spine and keeping it as neutral as you can. In other words, you're not dropping your head down to the floor. Breathe, everybody. And slide yourself back up. Woo. Take that knee up toward the ceiling and just squeeze it into your chest. It's on the same side. I'm not bringing it across. I'm just sliding that knee up to my chest and then release, shake that out. Same thing, other side, coming first into about the most neutral figure four you can be in. Again, straightening the leg as you need to and rocking side to side. See, I can tell immediately this knee is higher than the other one was, and I can feel more tightness here. That might be tight, it might just be stronger, right? It's hard to know how to delineate that, but I'm just gonna honor that and go, okay, this feels tighter. I'm not gonna move into the stretch as quickly on this side as I did the other side. So maybe start by just leaning forward a little bit. Oh yeah, really feeling that. Breathe. Take a deep breath, everybody. Good, exhale. Maybe you take the hand through the leg, the other one to the outside, and just interlace those hands around the front of your shin. Remember to slide the hip, the sit bones back, even as the chest, the torso comes forward. Some of you can slide just a little lower. Deep breath. And slide it up. Woo, and let go. All right, still toward the edge of your chair, seated core work, and then we will get standing, I promise. Your left hand stays on your thigh. Your right arm reaches up. You are going to connect your right arm to your right knee or your right elbow to your right knee and then extend up. Now, if you want a little bit more, you're not going to put that foot down. You're going to keep it elevated, which is going to keep that low abdominal and hip flexor engaged the whole time. All right, here we go for 10. Squeeze and pause, and then up. 2, 3, squeeze to the middle. So, right, bring the elbow, bring the core down. So, see if you can, just squeeze down more. Yeah. 4, 5, 6. Think of that side of your abdomen as like a sponge, and you squeeze out the sponge and then you let it go. 8, 9, and 10. Whoo, and let go. Whoo, shake out those legs. And let's do the other side. One hand keeps that leg down, that knee down, the other arm goes up. I've already got some tone to the belly, and let's do 10. So squeeze it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Pause at the top. 7, 8, 9. Squeeze, 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 and release. Nice job, everybody. If you can, no hands. Let's come up to standing. Whew. Shake all that out. Let's move any of your props out of the way. We're going to do some sun salutations using the chair. You won't need your props. Good. So take your chair, ideally, so I have it set up this way because we got a camera, but ideally your mat is long ways to the wall and your chair's going to be right up against the wall. Why is that? when we do, so first of all, make sure all four legs of your chair are on the mat. But sometimes, right, we're doing a sun salute or down dog, and we don't place the hands quite right, and the chair can tip away from us. That's why if you put it up to a wall, it might tip to the wall, but it's not going to go anywhere. So keep that in mind wherever you are. Most of you watching are yogis who've been hanging out with me for a while, so you already know all this. So stand in front of your chair, not necessarily so close, and find mountain pose, right? Simple, simple, basic yoga pose. The shoulders move back, but then they soften down. The back of the knees are soft, the head reaching straight up from the neck, from the shoulders, from the hips, from the feet. Take a deep breath. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands go to your chair. Now here already, I tend to step back a little bit. Some of you, neutral spine, right, are gonna stay halfway up the whole time, anytime we do forward fold. Make sure your hands are somewhere in the middle-ish of your chair, just again, so you reduce the issue of tilting the chair forward or back. Many of you can just go ahead and come down low. Your head can actually come to the chair, but leave your hands on the chair for now. Forward fold, hamstrings getting a little bit of a stretch, and then press into your hands to come halfway up. Walk your left foot toward the chair. Walk your right foot back, come into a lunge. That will make sense after you do that a time or two. You want your front foot fairly close to the chair so you're not overreaching. There you go. I'm looking at my girls in here and they both, all three look good. And then press into your arms. Lift your chest. Find that lunge. Make sure your hands are to the middle of your chair. I see two of you with your hands at the back of your chair. Step back, downward facing dog. If your hands are right at the front, you're gonna tilt that chair toward you. It won't be pleasant. Open up the shoulders, but engage the muscles. Downward facing dog right here, hands resting on the chair, active, right? I actually have, by the way, my pinky fingers rolled over to the sides of the chair. And then float the body forward to plank pose. Your level, shoulders and elbows line up, the belly squeezes, don't drop the hips. Find your breath, engage the legs, everybody. And then downward facing dog again. You're gonna look at your chair and step forward with your right leg, but it can't come too close because otherwise you're gonna just hit the wall in front of you. Find the lunge on this side, press through the back heel, stretch everything out, and then step forward, bow your head down toward the chair, and then press up and bend the knees, come all the way up, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, let's do the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Press your hands into your chair, lift halfway up. Soften the knees, step back with your left leg, adjust your stance so that you are in your lunge. Find your breath here, open up the shoulders, tone the belly, level out the hips. Step back, downward facing dog. You shouldn't have to move your hands. Breathe. Notice if you're dropping through the shoulders. Keep the upper shoulders nice and strong. Float to plank. And breathe. Press out, tone the belly. Good, you're looking really solid there, Betty. Downward facing dog. Step forward, left leg, adjust your pose, breathe, step forward, right leg, watch that wall in front of you, maybe take that forward fold to the chair and lift up, bend your knees, come all the way up. Exhale to your heart. Release the hands and just pause here, just breathe, roll the shoulders. Good. Let's add on to that. Now that you have the basics, inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Drop down toward the chair, forward fold. Some of you can take your hands to the floor here and just let your forehead rest on the chair. This is kind of sweet, and it's actually a focusing tool, right? To anytime we rest the forehead, breathe. If your hands are on the floor, take them back to your chair, press up halfway, bend the knees, step back, right leg, adjust your lunge so that it feels good to you. Adriana, bring your front foot forward. Yep. Everybody, one, your hands stay on your chair, the shoulders stay wide, or two, you take your hands to your front knee, lift your chest. Inhale, reach the arms up and breathe. Find your pose, everybody. Back leg strong, back leg straight. Exhale, hands come down to your chair. Adjust, step back, down dog. I love sun salutes on the chair. They just feel really good to me. And forward to plank. Squeeze through the legs, lengthen through the tailbone, open up your chest, everyone. Downward facing dog. Step forward, right leg, adjust your lunge so that it makes sense for your body. Your alignment is solid. One, you're here. Two, you're taking those hands to your knee. Inhale, the arms raise up, stretching through the legs, finding that pose, squeeze through the belly. Exhale, hands down to your chair. I'll have to step my right foot back a little so I don't overshoot. Step forward, left leg, forward fold, and then press up, bend the knees, and come on up. Exhale, hands to heart. Second side, here we go. Take it up. Exhale it down. Possibly take those hands to the floor. Make sure you're supported and you're not putting any real weight on that head. Take your hands back to the chair, halfway up. Soften the knees and step back, left leg. Find your breath. One, you're here. Two, hands come to your knee. We find our stability and take the arms up. Everybody breathe. Good. Listen up. Take those hands back to the chair. Your left hand stays on the chair. The right arm reaches up, coming into a lunge twist. Try not to overreach on the chair. It is one of the issues when the chair's in front of us. Good. Release that. Nice job, everybody. Plant the hands where they should be, downward facing dog. Find your breath, feel the shoulders working, feel the outer arms engaged here so we don't just drop the shoulders through the joint. Plank pose, hold here, everybody. Optional, lift one leg. Don't lose the pose, don't overlift the leg, it doesn't have to be high. Lower that side, lift the other, keep the wrists and the shoulders lining up best you can. And lower, down dog. Left foot forward. Adjust your lunge, take the hands up. Find your balance. Hands come back to the chair, the right arm stays up. The right hand stays down, the left arm goes up. Finding that twist. Release that, hands come to chair, maybe adjust your front foot back a little bit. Step forward, take the head down to the chair, and then press up, squeeze the belly, hands to chair, come all the way up. Exhale to your heart. And shake that out. Nice job, everybody. We've got one more round here. We're plenty warmed up. This class is like flying by already. We got work to do. All right. Open up the chest. Stand in mountain pose, right? Does not matter whether we're using a chair or the floor in our mat. Everything is the same. Inhale, breathe. Arms up. Exhale, down to the chair, forward fold. Again, letting those hands go if it makes sense for you. Breathe. Take your hands to the chair, come halfway up. Soften the knees and step back right leg. Everything we've done before, we're just going to add on. Either the hands come to the knee or we bypass and take the arms up. Your hands can always stay on the chair. They never have to leave that if you don't want. Exhale, your hands back to the chair. The left arm goes up. The right hand stays down. Press through your back leg, everyone. And breathe. Release that, hands down, listen up. You're going to turn your back foot to the side position. Adjust your front foot. I tend to take my shin, my front shin, right to the chair. And then the hand goes right in front of that chair. Take the arm up. It is extended side angle. Big deep breath. Squeeze the back leg. Tone the belly. Let go of that front hand. Warrior two. Bring the torso upright. Take that front hand back to the chair. Take your back hand to the chair. Straighten your front foot. Back foot and downward facing dog. Plank pose. Use your breath. One leg lifts optional. Don't lift high. Squeeze your belly. Hips stay level. Release that one. Lift the other. Again, optional. Release. Down dog. Right leg forward. Find your lunge. Left leg forward. We do have to do both sides. Bend your knees. Take it all the way up. We got one side left. Exhale, hands to heart. Release, mountain pose. Roll the shoulders and take it up. Arms up. Exhale, hands to chair. Hands to floor, optional. Forehead is so softly resting. You could lift it up. Breathe. Hands come back to your chair. Lift halfway up. Soften the knees. Step back. Left leg. Adjust your lunge, everyone. Find the pose. Level out your hips. Tone that belly. Take the arms up. And breathe. I know. Squeeze through that back heel. Exhale, hands down. The left hand stays where it is. The right arm reaches up, coming into a twist. Smile, relax, watch the head. Exhale, the hands come down. Drop the back foot to the side position. Maybe your front shin rests on your chair. When you're ready, take the left arm up and find extended side angle. Breathe, and then squeeze your belly, engage that back glute, lift up to warrior two. You got this, everybody. The front hand drops down, the back hand comes to the chair, the back foot straightens. Let's finish this round, downward facing dog to plank. Optional one foot lifts. Squeeze your belly, everyone. Lower that foot, maybe the other one lifts. Lower, down dog. Left foot forward. Breathe. Step forward, right foot. Once more, forward fold. And then hands to chair, bend your knees, take it up, everybody. And exhale to your heart. Ooh, nice job. Shake that out, everybody. Right there, that is your sun salutes with the chair. Isn't that nice? I love it. It's just very freeing to me without a lot of the strain and the stress of forward, back, and all of that stuff. So we have a couple of options here, again, just from a leg strength standpoint, and then we'll move on. If you take your hands to your chair, left foot forward, right foot back, I want you to come into what's going to be our 90-90. Yes. So option one is a regular lunge, okay, because your back knee doesn't like being bent like that. Option two is a bent knee. Again, I've got my shin touching the chair, and I'm working the back leg. So option two is hands are to your chair or fingertips are to your chair, but the back knee is bent. The pelvis is tucked. Option three, hands come to the front knee. Instead, you're working way harder. Woo. Option four, arms up. Breathe, solid, squeeze those hips and glutes, everybody. And then reverse. So hands come to your knee. Then they come to the chair. Then you press to a lunge. Yep. I'm going to slide my left foot back, step my right foot forward, bend the knees, and come all the way up to standing. Shake that out, right? So that is just all about leg strength, right? Leg, hips, glutes. All right, let's do the other side, and then we're done with that one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your chair. Soften the knee, step back, right leg. Adjust your front foot so that maybe your shin, your knee is touching that chair. Doesn't have to be. So first find the lunge. One, you're here. Two, you're going to bend that back knee and come to fingertips with your hands. Woo. Keep the belly toned. Three, you're going to take those hands to the knee. That much harder. Four, you're going to take the arms up. Big deep breath. Reverse it. Hands to knee. Hands to the chair. Nice solid lunge. Push the back leg straight. Yep. Slide your front foot back a little bit. Step forward. Shake that baby out and come up to standing. Oh, well done, everybody. All right, so we're just going to set this chair aside for a little bit, and we're going to work with the wall. As I promised you, we'd work with the wall. Always get a little sip of water if you need it. All right, so let's start with what seems kind of obvious here, which is some wall squats. So I like to start, I walk my feet out. Now again, right? Same with the chair, same with the mat. Make sure it's not going to slide out out from under you, right? So when we come down, we've got to be careful we're not pushing out too much. So go easy to start. Don't go into a deep one. And rock the hips side to side. So you can see, Adriana, yours bunched up a little bit. Just make sure it doesn't slip. Just rock side to side. There's those little hip glute muscles, right? You can use a tennis ball, by the way, behind those. And then come back to center and find a chair or a squat that makes sense for you. The feet are generally hips width apart or slightly wider. I really like in my body that idea of drawing the inner heels toward each other isometrically, at the same time pressing the toes out to the sides isometrically, and then finding that seat. My sacrum is on the wall, but not my back, not my lower back. Shoulders are to the wall if you can. Head is to the wall if you can. If your upper back is really rounded and your chin lifts to get your head there, don't do it. Just work with the shoulders. Take the arms forward By the way, come off the wall anytime you need to. Squeeze the elbows back to the wall, like robot arms. Reach forward. Squeeze, forward, squeeze back. Forward, 2 more. Squeeze, forward, squeeze, hold. Take the hands, back of the hands to the wall. We did this when we were seated in the chair. Take them to your belly. Take them out. Belly out, internal, external rotation. Out, good, 1 more. Out, take your hands to your knees. Take them to the wall and push off the wall to stand up. Woo, shake those lovely little legs out, everyone. I know. So we're going to do a similar thing with the legs, but a little bit different. So we're going to come back to that wall squat. And instead of just feeling the sacrum, I want the whole back to the wall, right? The whole lower back to the wall. So you just went flat, super big tuck, right? Maybe you come down a little lower. Please watch for that mat slipping out from under your feet. Press the heels in, the toes out isometrically, and feel your legs. No kidding. 1, you're here, come out at any time. 2, the hands go out with the palms face out. Reach the arms up and down. We're doing 5 of these. Squeeze them up, soft elbows, down. Breathe, 3 and 4. Last one, push, 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 and hands down. Turn those palms to the wall and stand up and shake those out. Woo! Right, wall squats, wall squats. I was doing a video the other day and she did a 2-minute wall squat. That was long. It was long and I did it, but those last couple seconds, I was not happy. But I love a challenge, so there you go. All right, so we're gonna face side. We're gonna give these legs a little bit of a break. If your mat is super close to the wall and long like mine is, you might have to step kind of part on, part off. Your hand on the wall is soft, okay? I'm actually on my fingertips, or you can do palm. Outside arm raises up, bends to the wall. Soften the knees, especially the knee closest to the wall. And breathe. And release. Good, take it up and down. I just realized a little closer to the wall felt better to me. So you may want to just keep the inside elbow soft and down. Squeeze it up and down. Hold up just a second. So this time we're going to add a kind of funky knee to this, right? We're going to take the arm up and we're going to squeeze to the outside and then point and stretch. Squeeze out, point and stretch, squeeze, point, stretch. Good, 2 more. Squeeze it in, out to the side. Last one, squeeze and point. Whew. And release. Right? It's amazing what you can do for those little obliques without really knowing you're doing something. All right, other side, everybody. Hands to the wall, the elbows soft. Feet are planted. We're mountain pose-ish. Remember, when you side bend, the inside knee can bend just a little bit. So the arm goes up and we stretch. Whew. And then release. Reach it up and release. Good, 3 more. Stretch, release, and 4. Oh, it feels so good. Release, last one, big stretch up and over, and release. And then take that outside arm up, bring it to your knee, and squeeze and reach both limbs out. Good, squeeze up and release. 3 more, squeeze. Like you should feel this, everybody. And stretch in a good way, squeeze and release. Last one, squeeze and release. and let go. Whew. And then feet are out slightly, not as much as your squat. Your hips, sacrum, and hips are to the wall. Soften the knees a bunch and bring your elbows to your knees. And breathe. So again, for some, this is your neutral, more neutral forward fold. If that is where your back is today, you just hang out here. It still feels really good. Everybody else can take their hands down to their feet. Let the head drop. Allow some rounding in the back, but still tone the body, right? Or the belly. Still tone that in. And it's as if I could walk my sit bones up the wall. Take a really deep breath here. Good. And then hands to your knees. Lift your chest. Woo, lift your body and push off the wall. Good. Let's grab our chairs again. And for my friends in the room, you'll take that back toward the wall. And wherever you all are, I would start, whichever side I start on, just start on the side that you can see me. Okay. So here we are again. We're going to take our left foot forward and our right foot back, not super close to the chair, with a little, I mean, it's really not much. You'll adjust as you need to. So we're starting here in this kind of warrior two stance. Back foot is straight back. Now, some of you will also have a wall here, and I may do both versions so that the gals in the wall can do both. So we'll start away from the wall, and I want you to kind of lean forward and put your left hand on the wall, your right hand to your hip, and just open the hip without letting the front knee roll in, okay? So the front hip rolls back, the back leg gets really active, and we just take the arm up for now. So this is kind of a grounded, we're going to half moon if that wasn't obvious. This would be a grounded version of that, right? The back foot stays down. Otherwise, take that top hand and put it back on your hip. I want you to look at your chair, and I'm scooting my left foot back more because I know I'm going to need the room. And I'm going to push my hand into the chair to lift that back leg. Still looking at the chair, still looking at my hand. That upper shoulder is externally rotated. The length of my extended leg is really pushing. And then maybe I'll look sideways. And maybe I'll take the hand up. Good. Breathe, everybody. Fire up those legs. Imagine here, if you could bring both inner thighs together without moving them so that they're active. Bend the front knee, step down, and release. Right? So much fun. And switch sides. I'm just going to turn my chair around so I don't have my back to you that much. Make sure your chair is fully on your mat. Now, some people will find this way easier using a chair. Some will find it much harder because they don't have the ground. It is just a variation, right? And we love to play with variations. All right, so right foot's forward, your hands to the chair. First, I want a grounded pose. So hand is to the chair, other hand is to the hip. I'm drawing the front hip back, but I'm pressing through the back leg. And then maybe take the top arm up to find this version of half moon that is really pretty. It's much like a grounded airplane. It's foot to the floor. And then take that hand back to your hip. Look at your chair. Plant your hand. I try to plant mine center, both forward, back, and side to side, roughly the center of my chair. Or yeah. And then I'm going to lift that back leg. The front hip is rolling back, looking at my chair. I'm engaging through the legs. Maybe I start to look sideways. Maybe I take the hand up. Imagine someone trying to pull that extended leg away from you. Get good and grounded there. Fire up all those muscles. And then hand back to your hip. Bend the front knee to lower the back. And release it. And shake that out. So option one, you're going to go back to the first side and play a little bit more. Option two, we're going to move the chair out of the way. Now, my gals at the walls, you only need enough to get one hip at a wall. So you might want to play, and Adriana might even be able to go to the side wall and just work with that. And then grab one of your blocks. If you have the room, doing half moon at the wall is just way too much fun because it takes all the balance challenges out of it, let's say all the risk out of it, but you still have to be mindful. But it takes that balance challenge out of the picture. So again, I'm starting with my left foot forward and that left hip closest to the wall. Your block can either be in your hand or it can be forward of your foot. And that is also up for debate how far that block goes forward. Bend your front knee and lean forward. Betty, just move that stuff out from behind your back foot just so you don't land on it. Okay. Bend your front knee and take your hand to the block. And you may feel your left outer hip on the wall or close, okay? Your back hand stays on the hip. We lift up. And for me, and depending on how close you're to the wall, my extended leg's foot, the heel, goes to the wall. My hip is resting lightly on the wall. Then I can play with lengthening the tailbone, drawing the shoulder toward the wall. My upper shoulder is not touching. In fact, neither shoulder is touching, but the back of my hand is touching the wall. Try not to overdrop your head. Try to keep it neutral. And breathe. Find the center of your foot. Engage your glute by pressing the heel toward the wall. And bend the knee and release. And come on up. Woo. Find your equilibrium. Switch sides when you're ready. And again, hand to the chair instead is also, this is how we play with these poses, right? This is how we bring half moon from the challenging balance pose it is to an accessible and fun pose, I think. All right, right side, knees bent. I'm looking at my block. I'm going to take my hand to the block. By the way, it can be up high, it can be down low. Some of you are a no half moon with your hand on the floor. When you're ready, you're going to lift. You're going to let the hip graze the wall, the back heel ideally, but not necessarily. Grazing the wall. Make sure the tailbone is long here. Take the top arm up when you're ready. And breathe. Good. Find the center of your standing leg. Press through the heel of your other leg. Don't let the head drop down to the floor. Keep it neutral. Breathe, 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 everybody. Bend your front knee, lower your back foot, and come on up. And then take your hips to the wall. You can go wide or narrow. This could feel good if you go wide. And just come on down, forward fold, or your hands are on blocks. Big deep breath, everybody. Whew. That's it. Find your breath. Keep the back of the knees soft, the sit bones reaching up the wall with your knees soft. Good. And then walk your hands out and walk your heels to the wall again if you can. I know there's limitations. So my feet are wide, my hands are out in front, and I'm doing a wide leg downward facing dog. Heels stay on the floor, and we press through. If you don't have the room for the legs to be wide, then do a down dog with your feet at hips width. Press into the heels. Good. Start to walk those hands back. If you're that close to the wall, you probably got to walk your feet forward, bend the knees. On up, everybody. Roll the shoulders and find your chair. I knew this class was going to go way faster than I wanted it to. Oh. There's no end to the creativity with a chair. Again, I try to keep it less pretzel-y and more accessible for everybody. Whew. All right, so again, I'm gonna mirror here. You're sitting kind of at the middle or forward part of your chair. You're gonna take your right leg and turn it out to the side. Your front foot is going to stay exactly out from the hip. Your right leg is going to be out to the side. So this is, again, a variation of extended side angle, and it's one that I kind of like, and it doesn't put a lot of strain on the back hip. So inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, front elbow to front thigh, and reach over. Now, for my bendy yogis over there, we've really got to watch the overarching of the back, of the lower back here. So just think about that for a moment. So most of you are going to hang out right here. Some of you are going to take that bent elbow to the outside shin and lower down a little bit. Just don't overdo it. Stamp the feet into the ground. Find this extended side angle. And lift up. Again, variation of warrior two. Drop the back hand down to somewhere in your chair. Take the top arm over and find exalted warrior. And reach both arms up. Exhale to your heart. Slide that leg in. Also a nice stretch for those inner thighs, right? So let's just go to the other side and we're done with these. Check, just look at that right leg. It should come straight out from the hip. Your other leg, ideally straight out to the short edge or the long edge of your mat, depending on which way it is. But don't force that. If you need that leg to come in more, then do that, okay? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forearm to thigh, reach over. And breathe. Lengthen through the tailbone, keep the lower back long. And then one, you're here. Two, you're going to take that bent hand, slide down the leg a little bit. It doesn't have to be far. This is deeper than we would normally go if we were standing using a block. Breathe. And press up. Warrior two, looking over the front hand, pressing the knees away from each other. Drop the back hand down, take the top arm up, and find exalted warrior. And release, bring both of those legs together. Woo! Yeah. All right, we might be a couple minutes over. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, left hand to right knee and right hand behind. Just a seated twist, the feet are planted. Breathe. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, turn it the other way. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Cross your knees, one on top of the other. Again, for my low back folks, just be mindful here. If you can, just bring your chest down toward those legs and drop your head, let your chin or or wherever, mostly your chin, rest on your knees, just hang here. It's a really nice supported forward fold because you can't go too deep. Just find your breath. If that's too low, by the way, you can take your hands to your knees and rest your chin on your hands, right? That can feel really good. And then take your hands to your knees first. Lift head, neck, chest, and come up. Switch sides. And curl down. Breathe. Just stretch, everybody. Use your hands to your knees. Lift up. Release the legs. Inhale, reach up. Interlace the hands. Press up a little baby arch here. Little baby. Oh, and release it. All right, so for Shavasana, I purposefully did not want to do a floor practice. If you are really hoping to do legs up the chair on the ground, go ahead and get yourself situated. I don't blame you one single bit. For Shavasana, either we're going to sit back in our chair so we're not working, feet grounded, or we're going to do just an easy kind of cross-legged seated pose with the back of the chair fully supporting our back so that we are not having to work anymore. So whichever one you choose is beautiful and awesome. Legs up the wall or up your chair is a great way to finish this practice. So whichever you choose, go there and then close your eyes and find your breath, right? Let's let that entire practice infuse into our bodies. Let's let our minds settle and calm down. And maybe all we're thinking about is breathing in and breathing out. Soften everything. Soften even more. For those of you who are ready, maybe start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. If you are legs up the wall and you don't want to leave just yet, just stay. Stay until your body tells you it's time. For those still seated in the chair, just start to move your back away from the back of the chair if you're still there. Those of you on the floor coming out, go ahead and bring the knees to your chest and roll to one side. And then ever so gently and carefully press yourself up to a seated pose, maybe using the back of the chair as your rest. And then for everybody, inhale, reach up. Exhale to your heart. Bowing to your own inner strength, inner wisdom, and the kindness that we show our bodies and ourselves so that we can bring that out into the world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming to class, everybody.